Ever notice someone dragging large black bags through the hospital lobby and wonder who they are? That, my friend, is a medical device rep. Welcome to Device Guys. Your hosts, Brent Lloyd and Jason Doliak, bring 50 years of combined medical sales experience to the table, sharing insights, stories, and a behind-the-scenes look at this fascinating world. Enjoy the conversations.
Hey everybody, I'm Brent, he's Jason, we're the Device Guys. Welcome to the pod. Jason, how do you do?
I do quite well. How do you do?
I do just fine, thank you.
Good to hear.
Episode 3, we're kind of getting our sea legs here and hoping this is coming off like we want it to. We were wondering what we were going to talk about to start the show today, and then the universe gave us a gift.
Didn't it?
They gave us a gift in the form of a 100-hour fast and a late-night phone call, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it did.
So I'm just gonna let you go into this odyssey of your 100-hour fast. I want you to talk about it a little bit, and then we'll talk about your phone call on Wednesday night.
Right. Well, it's well documented that I'm a crazy person, right? We know this, and when I go into something, I go in hard, right?
You're somebody that follows a whim.
Well, I mean, I test things, right? So and don't end me. I test things, and okay, listen. I told you that last week I went off the rails. I mean, it was a weekend of full blown gluttony, and I stepped on the scale on Sunday morning, and I'm just like, gosh, damn it, okay, this doesn't look good. And my back, my back, I've had 3 back surgeries, so it's touch and go with me, and my back has been wrecked for weeks, and so I'm like, all right, time for a reset. And so I got in my head on Sunday morning that, hey, starting 8 o'clock last night when I ate last, I'm gonna go for a little 100-hour fast and see what this does. Why the hell did I pick 100 hours? I don't know.
Just a good, even.
Just a nice even number.
100 hours.
It's like, why not? Let's do it.
What is
right?
that, like 4 days and 4 days and 4 hours?
That's exactly what it is. It's 4 days and 4 hours.
Yeah, that extra 4 hours.
It's important. Listen, you really tie up. You really get into that autophagy.
Well, no, I get it. Look, I've done some intermittent fasting.
Right.
Before I read the book.
You read the book.
Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code.
Right.
You can go a long time with that food. One of my good friends who we hope to have as a guest on this show at some point, Mike Gabler, he won Survivor. He didn't eat for like 7 days, maybe like a piece of coconut.
You can do it. I mean that's the thing. Is I'll do a 7-day fast like in January every year, just to do
a
it.
7-day.
7-day, and those are tough. But now with those, I'm bone brothing it and doing all the things. So
Can I interrupt here?
Go ahead.
What's like you're 6'1"?
Yeah.
You were weighing in when you started this fast. You said you got on the scale. What were you weighing in at?
I weighed in at 185 pounds. Like
185.
185.
I can't do the math in my head, but that's a BMI of like 21, 22.
No, it's not 21.
Okay,
it's 24 something. It's 24. But 175
very well under.
It's not. Yeah, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because of my back. I mean, at a $175, I feel good. Like I sleep good. I get out of bed and I can put socks on. I couldn't freaking put socks on this week. I'm like a baby. I'm laying on my back. I'm trying to put socks on like an infant. No, and so I'm like, okay, I got to do something.
And you look like, who are you gonna have? Who are you gonna have?
I got nobody.
Yeah, you're all by yourself.
I'm all by myself.
What, your neighbor? Do you have a neighbor?
Yeah, I got a neighbor. Hey, listen, Johnny, can you come over and listen? I got a big ask. This is a big ask.
Yeah.
Can you help put my socks on?
Maybe you should have like just somebody like a standing person that just comes in like every day.
Or I can just get shit right. Okay.
Just get it right.
I can just tighten things up. So that's what I did. And so I called you. Was it Wednesday morning?
Okay. Yeah. So let's fast forward. So I knew you were doing this fast.
Yeah, I did it.
And you were then you called me Wednesday morning. I was on my way to one of the hospitals. Mm-hmm. And you told me about a call you got late at night.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Okay. That phone call.
So I got called down to a hospital about 30 miles south of here. Middle of the night, guy comes in. He got a device recently, a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, well, he's having some chest pain, and we'd like to have you come take a look at this device. And I'm like, oh, all right, I guess this is what we're doing. 1 a.m. So jump in the car and head down there, and I'm feeling like, man, at that point, I'm 80 some odd hours into this.
You're 80 hours into this
80
fast.
hours into this fast. I'm feeling a little foggy.
Okay, so this guy, he presents to the ER
Yeah.
with chest pain.
Chest pain.
What more can you tell me about this guy?
Well, so this guy had a sudden death event about a month prior, like just before he got his defibrillator.
Which is why he got the defibrillator.
Which is why he got the defibrillator. And they did what they call CPR on this gentleman. So somebody, while he was laying on his back, was pounding and crushing his chest to get his heart to circulate blood. And
so this guy was found down.
He was found down.
Found down.
And
he got CPR outside the hospital.
CPR outside the hospital and external defibrillation. Yes.
So he probably got like 90 minutes of CPR, or like some lengthy amount.
Some lengthy amount of CPR. Yeah. And
Funny he would present with chest pain.
Funny, right? He would present with chest pain.
So let's call the device rep.
Let's call the device guy.
Let's bring in the device rep and have him interrogate the device. Is that what you're going for?
That's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to go down there and see if there was anything on this device that would give us any kind of information about what's going on with this guy.
Okay.
Was there anything on that device interrogation? No, of course not. And in fact, I get there, I'm talking to the guy. He's like, yeah, I figured that the chest pain was from all the chest compressions that I got a month ago.
Did he mention that?
He didn't. I don't know if he mentioned it to anyone but me, but they called me.
So this is begging so many questions.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
This guy probably gets to the ER at midnight.
Yep.
He gets probably seen at, if it's not busy, 12:30.
Probably.
And then they can't find anything. They probably do an EKG and maybe do some labs. They can't see any evidence of a heart attack. So it's 1 o'clock and they call you. So this guy waits it's 30 miles away. It's like, what, 45 minutes for you to get
Something
there?
like that, yeah.
So it's almost 2 a.m. This guy's been here 2 hours. What do they tell this guy? Who do they tell him they're waiting for?
I have no idea. I don't know if they can tell him anything. It's got to be like, hey, look, we're going to get your device evaluated. There's no way that they're telling that patient, we're going to call the rep. We're going to call the bartender. We're going to call the bartender.
There's this guy who was a bartender.
He was a bartender 20 years ago. He's going to come down and tell us.
But he knows more about this device.
He's going to tell us everything. Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I bet they tell him we're bringing in a specialist.
We're bringing in a specialist.
To look at your device.
Yeah. The kicker on that one was the guy was like, yeah, I figured it was from the chest pain, but my wife and daughter over there, they're like, oh, no, we're going to the ED. You're having chest pain.
It's nice to have people that love you.
Yeah, they love you. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Right.
And it's new to the defibrillator world. He's had a defibrillator for a month. I'm like, I just gave him the rundown on, hey, look, so this is what happens. If you get shocked by your device, it will be unmistakable. if someone says to me, I think I got shocked by my defibrillator, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
You'll know.
You'll know. Yeah.
You'll know.
So anyway, that morning when I talked to you, that was 80.
I just want to make one comment.
Go ahead.
That was you. This is the tip of the cap. Okay. Like you picked up the phone at 1 o'clock.
Which you do.
You got in your car.
Yep.
You drove 30 miles.
Yeah. The drive back was the tough one. That was rough.
Right. So and you're like 80 hours in. Is that what you said?
I was 80 hours
to this fast, and then you go and you know it's going to be nothing, but you still go, and then you it's probably pretty rewarding to sit there with this family.
It was nice
and have that conversation with them.
That's the upside of this job is you get to connect with people. I mean, that's one thing I think about yours that you see them one time and then you never see them again.
No, never see them.
Like these guys. Yeah, I'll see these guys for off and on for the rest of his life.
We did a TAVR on a guy that we actually put in a video that it's in that Matthew McConaughey narrated Human Anatomy. I don't even know the name of the movie, but he's a rock climber. He's a cool dude. We put a valve in him, and he did a bunch of stuff with us, and I ran into him. He's had the valve for like 8 years now, and I ran into him at the market, and I recognized him, and he remembered me, and it was super rewarding. That's like the only time I've ever had an encounter with a patient after the procedure. So you do get that, and it's got to be kind of
that's probably nice. It's one of the good parts of the job. Yeah, it's cool.
Right.
Yeah. So let's get back to the whole joke in the beginning of my 100-hour fast, which was wildly effective. It's nice to have a hack like at the end, like so that 8 a.m. when I talked to you, and I'm like, I sounded delirious. And not to mention, the day before, I'm like, I'm going to the grocery store. And I prepped, I made Matthew McConaughey. Speaking of Matthew McConaughey, I made Matthew McConaughey's tuna salad recipe, which is off the charts. It was so good. But I made that, and I made a big 7-layer.
So it was already made.
It was, I made it. Yeah. You
were anticipating.
I was anticipating the end of this thing because it was going to be on. And that morning I went ahead and had that tuna fish sandwich for breakfast.
At whose behest?
At your behest, because I was not making sense.
Oh my God.
I made it 8 a.m. I was not.
I was like,
making sense.
dude, you got like you.
It was too much.
Have to go get something to eat.
It was too much.
Eat something.
But to be said, it was nice to have the hack where you do this, and that morning 174, boom, done. And
11 pounds. You lost 11 pounds.
Yeah, which means that whole week of eating that was water and inflammation. It was all kinds of stuff. So
Inflammation.
I mean, it wasn't like I'm not trimming the waistline. It's just okay. Let's reset here.
No, I admire it, and I really love the fact that you did it, and this whole encounter, the whole episode. Has helped us with the intro to this show, our episode 3.
Well, yeah, I knew as I was
you're
talking.
always good for some material.
I'm good for some material.
Yeah.
I did my cold plunge this morning. I'm still shivering.
I got in your car a little bit ago, and you had it at 80.
Yeah, I had the heat on hell. So I'm shaking like I'm shaking like a dog.
All right, listen. Let's move on. Move on. We talked about what we're going to do in this show, and we kind of came to what you want to introduce the show to
well,
people?
I think today we wanted to talk about just the training episode. How do you get from doing nothing in this field, joining a company, and then onboarding and being able to deliver these products to customers? And so we're talking about training today.
These companies are taking people essentially off the street. Lay people.
They're taking lay people.
They're taking bartenders.
Bartenders, yeah.
Who don't know anterior, posterior.
No, lateral.
Medial. They don't know anatomy. They don't know anything. They've been in a hospital maybe when they were born.
Yeah.
A lot of them are young, they've probably never been in a hospital since then.
Probably.
And they're going to train you. They're going to give you product training, and they're going to maybe give you some anatomy training.
Sales
then
training.
they're going to, and some sales training too. And then they're going to send you on your way.
But how about those early days? I remember when I first started, first job in Washington, showing up, and it was like the first day at camp. Like you get in there, you get your corporate credit card, and you find out who your roommate's going to be.
Yeah, always a roommate.
There's always a roommate. I tell you, I only had roommates at that first company, and they did it right. We were in these suites, so it was like downstairs and a bedroom downstairs and then a bedroom upstairs. Did you have roommates in training?
Yeah, I had roommates.
Yeah,
I never did not have a room. You and I have talked about this before, but when Boston Scientific bought Guidant, when you worked at Guidant, I was at Boston, and I got to inform you that we have roommates at our national sales meeting.
I said,
you guys all thought I was joking, and then you showed up to national sales meeting. You're like, two Queens?
Two Queens.
What?
What's going on?
No, but so it changed after. So that's like the one good thing that happened from that merger.
Yeah.
Is we got our own room. But I digress. When I went to my first sales training at Orthotech, Tracy, California, the Comfort Inn, I think it was maybe 2 fulls. I mean, I'm sleeping right next door.
You got to know him.
You got to know him.
Yeah.
You got to know him. And it was like, that's 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you don't go home on the weekend. And me and my buddy Peter DeBias, I still remember his name, Peter DeBias. He, I wonder what he's doing now. He was a stud. Thank God he was a good roommate, right?
That's good.
How about your roommate in your first training?
My roommate, he was from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I don't remember his name, but the guy. Well, the reason I don't remember his name, the guy was a spot-on ringer for Hank Hill. He reminded me exactly of Hank Hill. I did not see Peggy or Bobby, but I know I saw that ladybird. That boy was the epitome of Hank Hill. Genius. He was a swinging guy too. Great dude. Loved him.
How long have you known you can do that impression?
I saw that show one time, and there was a guy that my brother played basketball with, and one day we just started, hey, kid, look here, Bobby, no son of mine's going to be a fat kid mogul. And it just clicked. I didn't even watch the show. I've seen it like twice.
You might have a hidden talent. Like, have you tried other impressions?
No, I can't. I'm not good at. I'm not. That one just clicked. I mean, you know, there's.
I want you to, for the next episode, I want you to work on like maybe Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah,
Try to get that.
I don't know if I've tried other ones. I'm not that talented. I can't do it. Like I look at the guys that can do that, and it blows my mind. It's such a gift.
It is a gift. Well, you're gifted with Hank Hill.
Well, Hank Hill, I'll take the one.
So you had that roommate at RS Medical, and you never had a roommate.
Never had a roommate after that.
Wow, that is.
And the RS medical training was fun. I mean, it was for me. It was early on. It was basic anatomy. I mean, we were selling one product. We're selling a muscle stimulator for post-surgical rehab. So it was. I mean, it was great. It was the messaging was pretty simple, and the application of the stuff was good. But it was just kind of get out there and learn to do it. Yeah, it was easy. Yeah. How about you?
My first training at Orthotech, the very first, like, they didn't have a training class scheduled, so they had to wait till they got, like, 6 people that could come to the training class.
Got it.
So my very first training was 1v1 with my boss, the guy that hired me in the Embassy Suites in Salt Lake City. So I go to Tracy, California. We go to our headquarters, and we sat in a little room, like a little office that had nothing on the walls, no window. And
Sounds like an interrogation.
It felt that way. Like, one-on-one with one other person for 2 days, it's a grind.
That's a grind.
It's a grind. So he had a product bag, on this table, and he started at the foot, and he worked his way up to the ankle, then the knee, and then eventually the elbow and the wrist.
Yeah.
And we had braces for every joint.
It's like getting eaten by a boa constrictor.
It is like getting eaten by a boa constrictor. And so he started with the slimline walker. Brent, this is the slimline walker. It competes with the Bledsoe boot, which is the market leader.
Oh, the Bledsoe boot.
The Bledsoe boot.
Okay.
Which the slimline walker is actually better than Bledsoe boot, and I'm going to tell you why. And so we went all the way, we got our functional knee brace, and I was exhausted. And we literally learned a script to sell our flagship product that Randall Cunningham of the Philadelphia Eagles endorsed.
The Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. He was our guy. And it was a script. You had to memorize this. It was like memorizing, play lines.
That's a good way to go, though, early on, I think.
It is. You don't get lost.
You don't get lost, especially when you're trying to get a message out there. There are companies now that do it that are so good at it. And I think if Medtronic had my technology right now, nobody else would do this job. They would own the market. They're that good at that kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
They're so good at it.
Just the training and the marketing and all the stuff.
They're so good.
Tell me about your training at Guidance.
So Guidant was different. So Guidant, that was so.
So now it's big leagues.
Now it's big leagues,
major leagues. Like RS Medical, you're playing like rookie ball, long A, and you're going to like Sioux Falls, South Dakota. But now you're with Guidant.
Yeah, we're out of Fargo, and
out of Fargo.
Yep. Now we're taking a Delta Airlines flight into Minneapolis, St. Paul. Right?
You're not taking the bus.
We're not taking the bus
to Rexburg.
There's no buses to Rexburg.
Right.
No.
Okay.
So we fly into Minneapolis, and it was great. Like I get there, and they assigned me to get the car for the team. For a couple of guys, three or four
status
guys.
symbol there.
Tip of the cap, right?
Yeah.
I think it was lucky, but I mean, Lincoln Navigator. That was my first experience of the cheek chillers.
With the what?
Cheek chillers. The seats with the AC.
Oh, yeah.
Cheek chillers. That was nice.
You don't need those in Minneapolis.
Well, it was Minneapolis, I mean, the first time I went there, I went there for the first time, it was in July. So it was warm. I mean, Minneapolis is hot in the summer, and it's hot and buggy, but it was good. So we got your own room. It was beautiful.
You had your own room.
Own room. Put
nice. Was it the Comfort Inn?
No, it was a Grand Hotel downstairs, down in downtown Minneapolis. It was awesome, attached to an athletic club. So there's didactics for a couple of weeks, and you spend 8 hours a day in class, and nice lunch, and they feed you well, and they're teaching you, going through all the books, and then at night you get to hang with the guys and go out, and you had your first corporate credit card, and you're swiping it and getting good dinners.
That's a cool.
It was
thing.
a pretty cool feeling. Yeah.
How many people?
In that class, there was probably 40. There was 40 people. So
wow.
It was a big room. Good training. It was awesome. Like the training with Guidant was better than anything I've ever been through. And I think that was one of their strengths and weaknesses in the beginning, because they would train people like phenomenally.
Yeah.
And then people get picked off by the competition,
Right, yeah.
which was a bummer. But yeah, it was intense. I mean, if you went, you had your 2 weeks, and at the end of the 2 weeks, you had an exam. So in the exam, you got two strikes and you're out.
So you could fail it once, you get another chance.
You another chance.
And if you fail it then what?
They let you go.
You're done.
You're done. They let you go.
Hey, thanks for playing.
Hey, thanks for playing. Good luck elsewhere.
We've scripted a little speech for your wife and kids.
We put something together for your wife.
Here you go. I hope it goes well.
Yeah. So
Okay.
there was 2 weeks at Brady. There was a week at Tacky training, which is, let's get into the weeds, but it's, pacers, defibrillators, and then heart failure devices. Heart failure device was supposed to be like the hardest training. It was a week and a half long of getting into cardiac anatomy, right? And it was, I don't know, it felt pretty intuitive to me, but it was like the night before.
It clicked with you.
It clicked with me. Yeah, it
Right.
clicked with me. This is the first time I was a bad student. I was a bad student in college. I just didn't work. I had a girlfriend my freshman year. She's like, "You're wasted talent," and I'm like, "You don't know what you're talking about. I'm going skiing." So we that night before the final exam for this heart failure, there's in that Grand Hotel. There was a banking company that threw a poker tournament. They put on a $100.
So everybody else is studying. For
Everyone
this
else is studying for
exam,
this
and you're feeling pretty good
I was
about
feeling
it.
pretty-
And
I was feeling
something
pretty
caught
good.
your eye.
Yeah. Went in and sat down for this poker tournament with this banking company, and I won the tournament.
You won the tournament.
Won the tournament. $100 buy-in. I think it was, I don't know, $4,400 or something. They had another tournament.
Then they did another
Back
round.
to back. I won the second one too.
You won them both.
I won them both. It was ridiculous. I won like $8,500 that night, and then went in the next morning and got 100 on that exam. Well, I missed one, but I'm like, this is right.
You appealed it.
I'm like, this is right. And she's like, shut up and get out of here. Shut up and get out of here.
But then you probably persisted.
I persisted.
I know you pretty well. You were like, nah, I'm not taking 99 on this.
Actually, I didn't care because at that point, I didn't really care. I'm like, is this wrong? This is.
So did everybody pass? Did anybody fail it?
Oh, that's a great question. So we're sitting at the Chili's, Chili's at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport right there.
Famous Chili's.
Between
Really
the
good
terminals.
Chili's.
Yeah, we had 5 or 6 people sitting there, and we'd always go have a nacho and a fajita, whatever, afterwards, sitting there and have a beer. And I'm like, do you guys hear someone fail that test? And dude at the end of the table just burst into tears. I'm just like, I can't believe I did.
Was that his second fail?
No, it was his first. It was his first.
So then he had to go home.
Go home.
And
Talk to the MOD, talk to the regional manager,
and then come
back.
And then that's true pressure.
Big time pressure.
Big time.
Big time pressure. Yeah. And
But Guidon doesn't want you to fail. They just invested all this money in you. They want you to succeed.
Well, this job is you're engaged in such a way with patients and customers. You really have to know what you're doing. You have to have technical competence,
Right.
And so you've got to weed people. I mean, there's been plenty of people that have come into this industry that have been wildly smart people that just couldn't get to think like a pacemaker thought. You just got to think in milliseconds and be able to conceptualize this. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. You just got to do something else.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was training early with Guidant, and then not most recently, this recent transition I did more like you. I did 1v1 on Zoom.
But once you've got the concepts, the anatomy, your training doesn't differ much no matter what company you're with. It's just you need to familiarize yourself with
algorithms.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
My training when I was after orthotech. And then I did total joint replacement with Halmedica. That was intense training. We took a pre-test. Like you showed up having to pass a pre-test, and so you knew the material that you needed to know. And it was a lot of anatomy, and it was a lot of they wanted to make sure you were familiar with our products, and so it was product and anatomy. And if you didn't pass that test, you just went home.
They didn't let you show up.
Well, you showed up day one.
Yeah.
Here's the test.
Oh, I like that.
Take the test.
I like that.
It was an intense test.
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't pass that test, it was like, well, you can stay for lunch.
Get yourself a chicken salad sandwich.
There's a car waiting for you. And we were in Newark, New Brunswick, New Jersey is where it was. But in my training class, it was maybe 8 guys. and everybody passed. And so that was intense. That was 2 weeks. Don't go home on the weekend. I mean, I wasn't married at the time, so it was fine. We went into New York on the weekends, and but at a admit then that's like 2 weeks in close quarters with another dude, and that one it was a suite. So there was like there was a kitchen area, and then there was a room and then a room. So it wasn't like Peter Tobias in the full-size bed next to me.
Yeah, so
a little different,
snuggling up.
It still was like I couldn't wait to get home after that 2 weeks.
How do you pick who watches what on those? There's the TV by the sofa in the suite. I mean, how does that work? That's just rough. 2 weeks.
You know what? This is funny. I've forgotten all about this. I read Infinite Jest over those 2 weeks. Do you know that book?
No. Infinite
It's a crazy book. David Foster Wallace. It's a book. It's this thick.
Okay.
And people that read it think, I got through it.
I got through it.
It's kind
That's
of
why you're bringing it up right now. I know what you're doing.
I didn't even know I was going to bring it up. It's just I didn't want to spend, you're with this guy all day. You're with and you get back, you're going to eat, and then you're going to be there tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And so I went in my room and I read Infinite Jest.
As an adult, like in college, you get forced with a roommate. That's fine. You should have to do that.
Yeah, you're also 19.
You're 19. As a grown man, being forced into confined spaces with another human being is just not.
I don't think I could do it now.
I couldn't do it.
Right now, no way.
No.
It would be a deal breaker. Like that, I would put that in my deal. Okay, so anyway, that was the kind of training I had. But I got to tell you, the best training, as far as just like structure, was that year I spent with Johnson & Johnson.
Oh, J&J is the master.
They are. They know what to do. They know how to do it. We did computer training. We did sales training. Like they brought in a consulting company just to train on sales. We did driver training. You believe this?
What?
We did driver training.
Driver training? Like rally car driver training? Kind
of, yeah.
Did you wear a helmet?
No one wore a helmet. But we went there like 12 people, like four cars. So 4 trainers, four driving trainers, and then 3 reps per car. And we took turns taking these cars for their paces, like figure eights, going through cones, slamming on the brakes, fishtailing.
This is J&J. Where did they get these cars?
I asked that. Hertz.
They just went down and rented them.
Hertz.
They went down to the Hertz.
I'm like, where do you get these cars? These cars. And the guy's like, we just rent them. I'm like, you just rent them from Avis?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah. Like at the airport? He says, yeah. Like, do you tell them? He goes,
Is there a mileage limit or anything? How's it work? They're out there skidding these cars?
Trashing these cars. We did these, and so then they do a whole safety thing. There's a didactic, and then you go, you go out and you put the cars through their paces. You come back, and then there's a little test. And there was one little thing I want to relay that happened that was something that we did. It was policy at J&J, and it was a safety issue. It was a safety thing that you, as a rep with a J&J car, they gave you a car. They didn't reimburse you. It was like, here's your car. Here's your Pontiac Grand Prix.
I love the Grand Prix.
The
Ford Taurus was nice, but the Grand Prix was great.
Oh, the Grand sexy.
It's sexy.
Sexy.
Yeah.
So I remember my boss would come out work with me, do the ride along, and it was a very formal company, very structured. Okay, the ride along comes. Yeah. So we do the ride along. It's maybe 2 days, and then I'm taking him to the airport. And before I drop him off, we're sitting in their car. He says, "Brent, it was a great ride along. It's clear your customers love you. You know the material. You have good conversations. You engage the customer. You got in every single office that we went to. You actually used the back door. I can't say enough about the job you're doing. There is one thing.
Okay.
I noticed in the parking lot at St. Mark's, you didn't pull through your parking spot so you could exit and drive.
Pull forward.
All the way through.
Pull forward.
That was policy. You had to pull forward, so you were.
That's relatively limited, options for that.
You've been to St. Mark's.
Yeah, I've been there.
So I mentioned, look, I understand. I just couldn't find a spot that allowed for that. He said, no, I get. There's sometimes that's not going to be possible, but I noticed when we exited the parking lot, you had to go in reverse to get out of the parking spot. You didn't do 2 warning honks on the horn.
What?
Beep beep. Then back out.
That's in the manual. That's in like the.
That's
That's,
the-
in the
that-
manual. That's what you
Well, I
need
don't know
to
if it's
do.
still in the manual. Yes, you had to honk twice and then back out. And so then when it was awesome. And so every time you were with your boss, you had to give 2 honks before you backed out. And then when he was driving, same. He would do it. It was awesome.
You had egg on your face that day, my friend.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
I think it took an A, like an A plus right along, right down to an A minus.
Right down to an A minus.
Right down to an A minus.
Yeah.
But I tell you, I never forgot to beep on the way out again after that.
No. I'm going to start implementing the double beep.
Well, now we have a camera on your car. You have all these warnings.
No, it's the beep's not for me.
It's for the people.
The beep's for them.
It's the beeps for the people.
Let's beeps for the people.
You want to start doing it?
Let's start doing it. Let's bring it back. I like that idea.
The beep is for the people.
The beep is for the people. Let's do it.
The children.
The children.
The kids.
The children.
Yeah, watch out. And then I got to tell you, there was another thing about J&J. They did this sales training, and they taught you some things that I really still use.
All right, let's hear it.
Have you ever heard of feel, felt, found?
Yeah.
This company came in and they taught you feel, felt, found. Hey, Jason, I understand how you feel.
Do you?
Others have felt that way too. But after they understand, here's what they found.
Here's what they found.
The feel, felt, found. That works in lots of situations. And then the other one is, and this is gold. May I make a suggestion?
Oh, I like that.
Doctor, may I make a suggestion?
Absolutely. Yeah, Brent, absolutely. You're not telling me anything. Yes, you may make a suggestion.
I'm all ears.
I'm
Eye
all
contact.
ears. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I've used that on my family before, but I've worn it out.
Yeah, you can't.
Now they know.
Listen, you're too frequent. They know your playbook.
Right, they know. If I ever say, "Can I make this?" They know. They know.
They're walking away already.
But you haven't had like a lot of that sales training.
No, I mean we had one with Boston. I think we had a guy come in, but he was it didn't fit the way that I think. Like I remember him talking about like some of the things he talked about were one thing he said like don't over prepare. Like, but I think he was more. I didn't really get what he was talking because I'm like this job you got to be prepared, knowing studies and research material and anatomy and physiology and application of our products and everything we're doing. It's something that's really important. So, but I think his one of the things he was talking about in being an over preparer is someone that prepares without taking the step. Right? They'll sit there and study and study and study, and they'll get out of their car. Like they'll want to go have the conversation. They'll be ready for it, but they just won't take the step.
Right.
And so I think that was more what that was. But I didn't have a lot of that sales training. My sales training that I'm giving my guys now is like, hey, just do the thing you don't want to do.
Love that.
Do the thing you don't want to do. Do it. I mean, elevator or stairs. I take the stairs. I don't want to do that. Go ahead and do it.
Cold plunge every morning.
I do it because I don't want to. Why not? Yeah, do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I used to make myself with Orthotech. Like you were cold calling. Like you didn't have appointments. You were like going to orthopedic surgeons' offices. You were going to physical therapists' offices. You were trying to see the athletic trainers. You would cold call. And it'd be a long day. I'd be driving home and I'd make myself do one more. Just stop one place you don't want to stop where you know it's going to be no. But at least you did it. And like 9 times out of 10, it was no. But then there's the time it wasn't. And we're like, God, that dude came by at 5 o'clock on his way home. And we saw him. And like, we got a patient in here right now that we're going to put a brace on.
take your shots. Take the shots.
You got to take your shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever done the master class negotiation course?
No, but I did read Never Split the Difference in grad school. That was a good book.
By the same guy.
Same guy. Yeah.
He's like a hostage negotiator.
Yeah, I can't remember his name on the top of my head. I can picture the book.
I can't either. He's
the
badass.
books. He's a tough guy. Yeah, he's good.
I watched that, and then I had the whole thing about when you get to know, like when you can't negotiate anymore. Like, here we are. This is my floor.
Well, yeah,
this is my floor.
There's an ask of you, and you can't go past it. You're there.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing I took away from that master class was when you get to that point, you just come out with it. You don't sugarcoat it. You say to your guy, I got some bad news, and you're not going to like it.
Okay. I don't like how this feels.
And then,
Okay, tell me.
Then you explain why they're not going to like it. Like you think I'm not listening to you. You're going to think I don't appreciate your business. You think I treat other customers different. You're going to think that I'm selfish. And then you go,
Brent, just tell me the bad news.
Yeah.
Just
Here's
tell me the bad news.
Exactly. Then you give them the bad news, and they're like, oh, it's not that bad.
Okay.
Right. So I actually had a chance to use that once.
Okay. Tell me.
I couldn't believe I didn't even have to list the grievances. It was just like, okay. It was like magic.
I don't think he wanted it that much then.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But the guy in the master class said, try it out at home first.
That's a great idea. That's a great
Like,
idea.
I'd rather try it out on my most difficult customer than my wife.
Seriously. Heather, I got some bad news.
And
you're not going to like it. Did you take it standing down?
No. Maybe you should keep that bad news to yourself then.
Yeah, how about you just
Okay. No,
tuck that
anyway.
in your hat?
We probably should wrap it up.
All right, let's
What do you think?
That was fun. Good conversation.
That was fun?
Talking training. Hopefully this was a little insightful. You know, I think it was definitely interesting to learn kind of where you came from and how you started. Yeah.
Same. It was good time hanging out with you. Good hang. Good hang. And thanks you guys. Thanks
you
the
for showing
listeners
up.
and the viewers for showing up. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
Thanks for coming. See someone out there without a smile on their face? Give them one of yours.